What's up, PSGINT family? It's your boy PSGINT here, and today we're going to discuss Kylian Mbappe's problem at Paris Saint Germain. It's many different reasons, and I'm going to get into everything in detail in this video, so make sure to stay tuned. Allez, bye! As you all know, Kylian Mbappe is not himself this season at Paris Saint Germain, and there are many different reasons for that. First of all, the first thing I want to talk about is, last year. From last summer until the beginning of this summer, Kylian Mbappe, he was choosing between Paris Saint Germain and Real Madrid. PSG did everything to keep him. Real Madrid did everything to keep him. It was the two biggest clubs in the world. Yes, this is not about history or something, alright? So don't cry. The two biggest clubs, the two clubs that have the best qualities, that have the most money, that have the best players, that have the biggest ambitions, is Paris Saint Germain and Real Madrid. And these two clubs, I'm gonna be honest, both clubs twerked for him. Both clubs extremely twerked for him. The players, the owners, the management, everything. At the end of the day, of course, Kylian Mbappe extended at Paris Saint Germain. But the whole year of the two biggest clubs twerking for him, I think that gave him a lot of ego. Not in a bad way, but in a normal way. Of course, it's like a guy, if the two hottest girls in the entire universe want him, of course he's going to get a lot of ego from that. But it's all about controlling and preserving that ego. And I think that's the problem Kylian Mbappe has now. It's too much for him. And I think it's very hard for him to control it, to keep it. So the thing is, as I said, I'm not mad or anything at this. I'm just explaining why it is like that. So if you guys understand with me right now, Kylian Mbappe has a lot of ego because of what happened, because of these two clubs working for him, the president of France coming to him. Like, the ego he has right now is the biggest any player has had ever. And does he deserve it? That, of course, I think right now he's the best player in the world, of course. But it's all about controlling that ego, and I think that's the problem Kylian Mbappe has now. He's trying to control it. It's very hard, which I completely agree with, but I think that's one of the biggest stuff why it's not working for Kylian Mbappe this year. We will even see it in the France national team. I mean, we have seen this with the photos and stuff. That's not that important, but even on the pitch we will see a similar problem, so we can understand that this is not a problem of Mbappe at PSG. It's a problem for Kylian Mbappe right now. The second problem is Kylian Mbappe needs to adapt. Like, the wingbacks from last season, Hakimi and Nuno, they had to adapt a lot this season because they're playing in a much different role than last season. Last season, they were mostly defending. This season, it's both, but more offensively. They need to contribute. We expect goals, assists, runs, creation from our wingbacks. But the same thing can be said for Kylian Mbappe, because Kylian Mbappe, especially last season, Neymar was injured for a long period of the time. Lionel Messi had COVID, he was injured, and then he had to adapt to a whole new different club and new players. And it's the same thing for Kylian Mbappe right now, because Kylian Mbappe last season, he had to do everything by himself, because we had no other. As I said, the best players were injured or not good enough, and the other players like Di Maria, extremely inconsistent, and he's mostly a creator, like only a creator. Icardi was ass. I don't even remember who else played in the attack. Watchalong played sometimes. So Mbappe last season, he had to do everything by himself because there was no other. There was no other to contribute. That was why he was the top assister for Paris Saint Germain last season and the top goal scorer. He had the most goal contributions in Europe's top 5 leagues last season, showing that he can actually put a team on his shoulders and carry them. But it's not the same this season, because this season actually Paris Saint Germain, first of all, have a functioning team below the attackers, like the midfield, the defense, the wingbacks, everything is working well. And then when it comes to the attackers, Galtier has set up that attack beautifully because he's getting the best out of all three players. For example, Messi, what's his best attribute? It's creating chances. That's why he has these amazing creation numbers and a lot of assists. Neymar, it's a mix of both. He can score and assist extremely well. And then we have Kylian Mbappe, who can also create well. We saw it last season. I mean, one of the top assisters in Europe, top five leagues last season. But this season, it's different. We don't need that much creation from him. Why? Because we have the wing backs to create. We have Neymar and Messi to create chances. Mbappe just has to become a poacher. I mean, I made a video about this, I don't know, a month ago or something, and that's what Kylian Mbappe has to do. But it's about adaptation, because it's not easy going from one system, one role to a whole new different role. And I think that's what will take a bit of time for Kylian Mbappe to work out. So he has to get that role, he has to work it, he has to get it, he has to understand that. I think Galtier all the time is trying to give that to Mbappe, and Mbappe is trying, but he's not there yet. So I think that these two are the biggest issues that Kylian Mbappe has right now, and he has to control it. He has to control it. This is not impossible. This is very feasible, but it's very hard. It's very hard, and I'm with Mbappe, and I'm going to support him and everything. So I don't want to look at the negatives. Of course, we can bring up how many times in the attack Kylian Mbappe has not passed to a player in an open space or something. I completely agree that Mbappe, in a lot of certain areas, he should have passed the ball instead of going himself. But in a lot of other situations, I'm totally okay with him going himself, because that's what Kylian Mbappe always has done. He goes for himself, he has that confidence, and he scores. But we can see clearly that he doesn't have that confidence. In so many 1v1s against a defender, Kylian Mbappe, before, he used to breeze past them, no problem at all. But this season, I mean, we saw Mendes for Lyon. He looked like prime Maldini against Mbappe. But that's mostly because Mbappe's confidence is not that high right now. Footballing wise, it's not that high, and he has to fix that. And confidence comes with time. It doesn't come in a click, it comes with time. So that's why right now maybe there is a problem for Kylian Mbappe at Paris Saint Germain, and Kylian Mbappe in general. But this can soon be fixed as soon as time goes by, as soon as Kylian Mbappe adapts more, understands more, controls his ego a bit more. And as I said, ego is not a bad thing. It's just confidence. Mbappe right now, he's overconfident, whilst actually he's low in confidence, I would say. That's why he isn't making those dribbles anymore. That's why he's not going past his opponents as much as he did before. But he's still doing great. That's the scary thing about Kylian Mbappe. He still has, 10 goals, 2 against Juventus. I think he's the top scorer alongside Erling Haaland in the Champions League. So even this Mbappe that's trying to control his ego, that's trying to adapt to a whole new different system, that doesn't have the best of confidence that you usually has, he's still one of the best players in the world. That's the scariest thing. So I'm just waiting. I'm patient. I'm waiting for Kylian Mbappe to come into his grind, to his top, to his aura. Because, I mean, who's gonna stop this team? Who's gonna stop this team? And this is not disrespectful to any other team, but you can have whatever defenders you want. You can take out Maldini prime for retirement. You can have Roberto Carlos, Philipp Lahm, anyone. When you have Messi, Neymar, Mbappe, it's extremely hard to stop that. It's extremely hard to stop that. And one thing as well is that Paris Saint Germain are creating so many more chances than they did last season. So Mbappe also has to adapt to getting 3, 4, 5 chances a game. Because last season, he got maybe 1, 2 chances. So he either scored 1 or 2 every game. But this season, he's getting 4, 5, 6 big chances, either for himself or to create for someone else. So as soon as Mbappe clicks in with that new rhythm that Galtier has put on his team, thank you, Galtier, Mbappe will be too OP. He will be too OP. Alright? Messi and Neymar, amazing players. I love them. Right now, best in the world. And the quality, of course, they have. It's not similar to Kylian Mbappe. But Kylian Mbappe, when it comes to numbers, when it comes to goals, he can break so many records. I mean, people talk about Erling Haaland doing all of this crazy stuff. Mbappe's like, 2, 3 goals off? And he's not even on his top form yet. The disrespect to Kylian Mbappe, the agendas to Kylian Mbappe just shows how jealous people are of Kylian Mbappe and how scared they are of him. Because when he's on his time, hat-trick at Camp Nou, 2 goals away at the Allianz, 2 goals against Juventus, goals against City, Juventus, Real, every team that he faces, He's not scared. Most of his Champions League goals have come away at the biggest stadium, Santiago Bernabeu, Camp Nou, Allianz Arena, Etihad. This guy is not scared of any team. Anfield, you name it. So Kylian Mbappe, I'm waiting. All the other Parisians are waiting for you to shine. We support you throughout everything because what you have done for this club and you extending at Paris Saint Germain shows that you deserve our respect and support. Allez Mbappe. But that was it for the video. What's the problem with Kylian Mbappe? Hopefully, everyone that has been watching this video, you now understand what Mbappe needs to fix. And it's a question of when and not if. Time will take. Mbappe will come. Allez Paris. Make sure to like this video. Make sure to subscribe to the PSGINT YouTube channel for more banging videos. And yeah, as usual, scream at the top of your lungs. Allez! Allez! Allez Paris!